Okay. My name is Nelson Makanda, and let me start by congratulating you for being shortlisted for the position of member of the Iebc Commission, for which you applied, and to thank you for showing interest in that same position that was advertised by this selection panel on behalf of Kenyans. I want to invite my colleagues here to introduce themselves. You do have a pen and a notebook, just in case you need to note something down. Linda, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Sadiki, good morning.
Good morning, Wakili.
My name is Linda Kiome, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome you for your interview this morning. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Bwana Sadiki, ujambo?
Sijambo.
Jina langu ni Bwana Andrew Tanui na karibu.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, Wakili.
Caroline Kituko, karibu.
Asante sana.
Good morning, Bwana Bakari.
Morning, Prof.
My name is Adam Solo, a member of this selection panel.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Nicodemus Bore. Karibu sana.
Assalamu alaikum, Sadiq.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh.
My name is Fatuma Ali Saman, member of the panel. Please feel welcome.
MashaAllah. Shukran.
Good morning, Mr. Bakari.
Morning, Balozi.
Karibu sana. My name is Koki Muli Grinyo, and I'm a member of the panel.
It's a pleasure.
Good morning, Bakari.
Good morning.
My name is Evans Misati. I'm a member of this selection panel, and we welcome you.
Thank you so much.
Now we come to you, Mr. Bakari, and we ask that you introduce yourself to us, highlight those things that are significant for the role you applied for and for us to know. Mention whether you have any award or honor, and if you belong to any professional society or group. Karibu tafadhali. Asante.
Thank you, Chair, and the panelists. By the name of the Almighty, the most gracious and the most merciful, I want to, first of all, to thank the panels for seeing it fit for a son of the soil from Kilifi County to come before you today, to converse, to know each other, and most importantly, to get to know my plan for the Iebc. So before I introduce myself, Chair, I am able differently. I stammer a lot, but I'll try to relax a lot too, so that I can be audible to all the panelists. So thank you. Chair, my name is Sadiki Mohammed Bakari. I was born 41 years ago in Kanjuni village, bordering Kilifi North constituency and Ganze constituency in Kilifi County. I attended my elementary education at Mzungulu Primary School, and later I joined a day school nearby because my father didn't have the money to take me to the provincial school that I had secured with my funds. So Sokok Secondary School is in Gaza constituency, and Mzungolon is in Kilifi North constituency. So after that, I joined the university, Iebc University. I did my bachelor's degree in arts and social sciences, and social sciences, choosing economics and statistics. I graduated in 2007 from Iebc University, and I joined a research firm that was doing research surveys and evaluation surveys in Mombasa for donors like the World Bank, DFID, Danida, in matters maternal child health, youth and women development, advocacy and training. So in 2010, I joined the IIEC, Interim Independent Electoral Commission, as the Deputy Registration Officer of Ganze constituency, where I was deputizing the RO, who was also the County Elections Coordinator. So we handled the management of elections from, that is pre-referendum, during the referendum, and also after the referendum. So we managed all the voter registration, education, stakeholder engagement, and during the election, we managed the tallying center, we managed communications, logistics, we managed to mitigate a lot of risks that were there. And after the election, we delivered a very credible referendum that day, and I learned after the very next day that I learned that normally the CCs take a flight to Nairobi to come and submit the results to the commission. So I was left alone. So I handled all the election materials back to the warehouse, securing them, and then later we also did the post-election evaluation, which I took part very well. So in 2011, because we were not absorbed by the commission, I went back to my to undertake a master's degree in social statistics, University of Nairobi. But before I went for my second semester, I also got another constitutional mandate opportunity with the Judges and Magistrates Vetting Board, where I was taken as a research officer. My main roles were collecting and analyzing complaints and compliments and reporting before the panel for vetting. And I also did the lifestyle audit for judicial officers. And this is where I acquired my integrity mantra, that integrity is that thing you do when you are alone. With a lot of good planning and organizational skills, I acquired myself other important roles in the board. The CEO seconded me to the senior management team as the secretary, and also gave me the role of transversing the whole country to plan and execute stakeholder engagements. I partnered with the CSOs, the media, special groups, Ngao, the county governments, special groups like PWD, and also, most importantly, that I sensitized our mandate to the prisons. I had the engagements with the inmates sensitizing them about our mandate. And I thank God that we delivered a report in 2016 to the president when we accomplished the mandate. In 2017, I joined the county government of Mombasa, where I was the personal assistant to the deputy governor. Excuse me. Where I joined as the personal assistant to the office of the deputy governor. And apart from facilitating his constitutional mandate of being the principal assistant to the governor, as an M&D person, I was also able to supervise and manage, coordinate all the projects that were in his department, because he was also doubling up as the CCM for education, ICT, and Vision 2035. There are so many achievements that I achieved in coordinating CCMs and county chief officers. Notably, one of them I would mention here is that the current functional assignments that the county is using, I'm the one who coordinated their development. One time, the governor instructed the deputy governor to develop functional assignments in the county, and I took the role to coordinate with the national government, State Department of Personnel Management. They came. I coordinated all the. I did a task force for the county with the CCs and the county of officers who are very who are very contributive in making sure that the functional assignments are developed. And I can take humility and pride in that. And then in 2019, I joined the Public Service Board, where I currently sit as the Deputy Director, M&D, in charge of making sure that There's development of M&D plans for the work plans in all the rates, M&D framework for the strategic plan, compliance. I make sure we adhere to the Constitution, to the County Government Act, to the functions of the board and the mandate, while making sure that we deliver public service to the people of Mombasa. And in this role, most importantly, I am also the secretary to the compliance committee and quality assurance committee at the board, where Chair, you told me to mention if there's any award that I've received. This one is not under my personal capacity, but I want to humbly take pride also, because I was one of the team that made sure that the board complied with the diversity regulation in the County Government Act. We are mandated that all the appointments that we do, not more than 30% should go to the non-dominant society. So we got an award with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission in 2023. And I'm proud of that. I'm also a trained and certified results-based management specialist, trained and certified by the International Training Center, which normally trains for the International Labour Organization. And I'm also a member of ECK, that is Evaluation Society of Kenya. I am also a senior manager trained by the Kenya School of Government. About what I'll do for Iebc, Chair, I'm bringing to Iebc 15 years of public service. Apart from being a statistician and a data expert, able to drive insights from big data to make policies for the public policies. I can also be very good in compliance management and make sure I do policies that the Iebc will comply with and adhere to the statutes, the laws, regulations that they have also developed themselves. And we also, most importantly, I'm bringing a lot of experience in managing, planning, and executing stakeholder engagements in the whole country. So one of the things, Chair, if maybe you allow me, or maybe you can discuss when I'm engaging the other panelists, is the issue of results-based management in resource management in this country. Chair, in 2002, when President Kibaki took office as an economist in this government, we were discussing how the economy could be revitalized. And one of the things, the discussions that were going on during the economic recovery strategy, if you remember, was how we can make sure we can curb excesses in government, or how we can make sure that the public service is functioning optimally, and also we can make sure that mismanagement of funds in the government is curbed. So one of the things that I want to bring specifically in Iebc, Chair, is results-based management. Chair, there's no important thing in transparency and accountability to bring back the trust and confidence to the Iebc. We must be transparent and accountable to the operations of the Iebc across all board, across all the election cycle value chain, whether it will be in stakeholder management, civic education, and procurement processes, financial management, and all engagement with the stakeholders like the political parties, how we resolve our disputes and stuff like that. So I have a plan on which I already have a draft on results based on every every program of election management. That is voter education, sensitization, sectoral engagement, voter education, and most importantly, how to engage interactively with the youth and the agencies. Thank you, Chair. Maybe I can engage on the specific thing maybe later.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Linda, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Sadiki, as a member of Iebc, what key skills and competencies do you think are essential for the entire team to execute their mandate?
Thank you, Akila, again. The Constitution has given a specific background of the entire Commission. From law, legal background, management, public service administration, management. I think there are 4 or 5 requirements of as background for NANIFO to be a member of Iebc. And for me, I'm looking at public administration and management. Starting from where I just left, I'm bringing results-based management into the Iebc. Wakili and the chair and the panelists. In 2004, I said when we were discussing about the economic strategy and also now to the Vision 2030, which is in its 4th medium-term plan, the country adopted the results-based management, M&D framework that was able to cover excesses and revitalize the public service performance. And the results-based management, Wakili and the commissioner and the panels, is actually the attachment of the attachment of every input or resource to a verifiable output, outcome, or impact. Chair, the Iebc mandate presents a very unique RBM model, which has a threefold mechanism. The voter being the beneficiary, the voter being the financier, and the voter being the stakeholder. As the beneficiary, Iebc produces legislators that make policies for which go down and affect the life of the wananchi, of the voter. And secondly, as the financier, in every program, there's a donor. The voter and the wananchi donate taxes to the government.
Mr. Sadiq, not to mean to interject you,
Sorry.
but just to guide you, I want you to relax. This is just an interactive session.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to know what are the key competencies and skills, that will be essential for the commissioners themselves. What do they require? What competencies do they require to have in order for them to work as a team for the commissioners themselves?
Thank you for the guidance, Wakili.
Yes.
So one of them, I said they are the background that they should come from, their expertise and the background, like 5 that were mentioned in the Constitution and the Act. Secondly, as a commissioner, you should have a prudent management skills of public resources, finance. You should also be an arbitrator, a person who can resolve disputes. You can by listening very well and analyzing the reason and the case. And also, thirdly, you have to be engaging to the stakeholders and make sure that the the women, CSOs, the social groups, the media is engaged constantly, so that they get feedback and they get updated to what the commission is doing from time to time. And another thing is that we need to Iebc commissioner, excuse me, you have to be able to integrate technology and be able to use technology to make it easy for the election management, results transmission. And also one of the important things is that you have to be manager of the human capital in the Iebc. The staff of Iebc have done a lot of things. They have been able to deliver elections in this country. They have a vast experience, and going there as an Iebc commissioner, a new Iebc commissioner, you'll have to learn and make sure that you motivate this staff to
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sadiki. I wish you all the very best. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Wakili.
Thank you. I want to invite Carol Kituku to ask you some questions. Carol, please.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Sadiq, with your experience
Yes, Wakili.
in data and statistics,
Yes.
would you please share with us 2 or more key areas within the Iebc mandate where you think automation could either be introduced or improved? Automation of services or their work.
Thank you. That's more of a ICT and not a data, but I'll try
I
to.
mean, like ICT will have to be informed by that.
Thank you, Wakili, for that
Yeah.
question. Yeah, Wakili, as a data expert, there are so many things that you can do as in policy using data. You make policies driven from the insights that you get from data. This data, there's the voter register. There's a big data that can draw insights from and make policies. There's also the voter turnout statistics that are very important. You can use them to draw policies of whether maybe a certain class or certain age group of voters in a certain area are affected by voter apathy than maybe a certain a certain area. So one of if I come to automation, one of the things that Iebc can do is now using IT to transmit results, using IT also most importantly to what I will do is dashboards, which will be real-time updates to the voters, automated with data that is trickling down and from the constituents and from the country. During times like during continuous voter registration, how the CCs and the county election coordinators engage the public, the ground, because for me engaging the voters and stakeholders in the ground is what is not being well communicated. They might be doing a lot of things right now. There's a notion that right now what they might be doing right now, because there's no voter registration going on, but they might be doing a lot of things that if it is automated and shown to the public, it is using a dashboards, the public might know that this is currently this is the place IBCR, and this is the update that we need, and how can we give feedback. So an automated approach would be in county elections office, in the IBC offices. You can have also a dashboard. You can also have a dashboard in the IBC website where it can be interactive and people can give back feedback and can be updated on daily operations of the IBC. Yeah.
All right, a follow-up question.
Yes.
On your own expertise as M&D specialist, how would you use such a skill within the IBC to ensure that there is feedback and evolution of IBC processes?
Thank you. Thank you, Akil. And uh, in the Constitution, one of the mandate of IBC is to facilitate observation, monitoring and evaluation of elections. I see like I feel that only little has been done in this mandate. The IBC has only, I think, done the processes of accreditation of observers and monitors. They've never gone ahead and done an M&D plan that is interactive to the public. So, luckily, let me just remind you, in the IBC, in their while they were developing their strategic plan for 2015-2020, they acknowledged. I think I remember this in page 17 of that document, the SP 2015-2020. They acknowledged that the lack of results based management M&D framework is the reason why they didn't achieve what they had intended to achieve in the previous strategic period. So in 2020 and 2024, they put as one of the key results area is to develop an M&D framework. So I'll be one of the things that I'll do when I get the opportunity to join the IBC, when I get to Advisor Towers, is to make sure that I'm updated whether they have done this or not. And if they haven't, we sit down, we develop. So actually, just now to also answer your question, feedback is very important. And one of the things that I am introducing and also using the low-hanging fruits in the IBC is on the election day. Luckily, on the election day, we can do feedback. And you see, if people are voting and they've cast their vote, I will introduce a system that after you cast your vote, maybe one clerk can get you to a system. You can have 3 or 4 or 5 questions structured to gather your feedback. Whether how satisfied are you with the elections today? Do you see any irregularities you want to report, and so on and so forth? We'll be discussing simple variables that we will be collecting, that will be guiding our engagement. That will be self-evaluation. So then after, as the results are trickling down to the tallying center, the feedback is also trickling down to the IBC offices somewhere, so that we can be able to analyze, to give a report, and most important, to notice that we will be able to give these findings back to the public in those dashboards, in the website, and also in the national elections dialogue forum. That has never been done in this country. We don't. The IBC has never engaged the voters national level, and on the county level, we also can have maybe forums quarterly or semi-annual for the whole country, so that we can give them the feedback that they have given us, and tell them, look, you said this and this and this.
So
We've
for the
taken
interest
this
of time, I think
Yeah.
you have responded sufficiently.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And
Thank you.
over to you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to invite Madam Koki to ask you some questions. Please, Koki.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Bakari,
Yes,
you,
what is?
you told us that you are a registration officer, deputy registration officer in the 2010 referendum
Yes,
on
yes.
the draft constitution. Therefore, you must have experienced training of officials. I'm sure you also conducted training of your own.
Yes, yes.
And for registration officials. And also we realize, of course, in the Iebc, it's not just for registration, there's also training for voter education, training to conduct the elections, and all sorts of other training training programs that IEBC conducts. So if you become a member of IEBC, what measures will you advance to ensure that there is sustainability in the training process, that it's not wasted or lost, and it is, it carries on for future workers at IEBC? And also, how will you ensure that the officials are well trained? Think back beyond that, coming to the 2010 constitution, we had the Kriegler Commission, we had lots and lots of recommendations on training. When you respond to this question, first, how do we ensure sustainability? Second, how do we ensure election officials are well trained?
Yeah. One of the, like noted, Balozi, one of the recommendations of the Kriegler Commission was a training on regular training of IBC staff, and also training on civic education. In 2010, the experience that I got is that these people who handle the clerks and the temporary staff who handle elections are not trained very well. I think there's a not ample time to train them to handle elections. But most importantly, Balozi, is to have sustainability is first to anchor these training programs in laws and in the regulations. That is first. I will introduce. Then making sure that for them to be sustainable and to be effective, you anchor them also in the performance contracts of these of our CCs. One of the things I introduced very importantly is to make sure that we have targets. How many people are trained? How many stakeholders are trained in the on the ground? How many CSOs have you trained? How many influencers, social media influencers have you partnered with on weekly basis, monthly basis, and annual? How many radio talk shows have you went through to the vernacular radio stations? And most importantly, also make sure that there's an M&D framework to monitor the effectiveness of this training programs, because one there's a difference between having a training program anchored in the law, and there's also the sort of difference to make sure that it has been effectively implemented in the ground, so that stakeholders know how to engage public in civic education, so that we can give civic education that is very inclusive, progressive, and responsive to the needs of the voter, so that they can be satisfied and updated always that IBC is doing this and this, and we can give feedback during these forums. And so it's a broad strategy that will come from institutionalizing it in the law and the regulations, and making sure that it is monitorable regularly and to the ground.
Thank you, Mr. Bakari. How just finally a small point.
Yes.
How do you anchor a training program in law and regulations?
We are the IBC is apart from the act and the regulations that have been stipulated, it has been also given the mandate to do the regulations for its daily implementation of election programs. So one of the things is You can make a regulation, a regulation. You can make a policy and make sure that I lobby my colleague commissioners to make sure they support, because one of the things that it is challenging implementation of policies is a leadership goodwill. So if I can lobby my colleagues to support these training programs and making sure that they are anchored into regulations, it will be a plus, and the civic education will be effective in the ground.
Thank you, Mr. Bakari, and all the best.
Thank you,
Chair.
Balos.
Thank you. I want to invite FCPA Tanwi to ask you some questions. FCPA, please.
Thank you, Chair. Bwana Bagari,
Yes, Mhasibu.
The cost of elections have been a big discussion throughout this interview. Kindly identify for us 5 causes of these high cost of elections, or cost drivers, if I may put it that way. And using your data skills, data analysis skills, your results-based management, what proposals would you have to help in reducing the cost of elections in the 5 areas that you will have identified? Thank you.
Thank you, FCPA. Before I answer, I want to acknowledge also the Iebc Secretariat in their recent report, the post-election evaluation. They acknowledged that one of the researches that they did was to a survey to get to know why the high cost, to get to know the high cost drivers in election management. And one of the things that they acknowledge, you told me to them 5. One is technology. Technology is a very expensive thing, and so the other day that the CEO was between before the parliamentary committee said that they were proposing to drop the current KIMS kit and procure others, because I think they are obsolete, or there are some functions that they cannot excuse me, they cannot function again. So election management through technology is very expensive. Secondly, the operations of the election day, especially the HR function, employment of the temporary staff. During the 2022, I think we had over 560,000 temporary staff, and these are people who need training, their subsistence allowance, and some of the challenges we have in this country is that they can stay even after 1 month. They haven't been paid. So
yeah, just
that's one of the
mention them,
things.
and then what I'm interested is the solutions.
Okay.
So just mention that.
Okay, so
mentioned 2,
technology. Thank you.
yeah, and then give me the solutions is what I'm interested in.
Thank you, FSPA. So technology, I said in the first one, the election day, a training and recruitment of temporary staff, security management, also is a cost driver, voter education, the civic education is also a cost driver, and also voter registration is a really high cost driver in management of elections in this country. So to your second part, You said how I can use my RBM model.
Yes, and your data analysis skills.
Thank you, SPA. I said earlier, maybe I will. It has not been the norm in this panel that you give a chance for a candidate to present maybe a PowerPoint. But like I said, I have some draft models that I have for each program in the IBC election management. So I start with
Give
the
us highlights, just
yes,
highlights of what.
I start with the okay. Maybe I can just start with the one about education. About education is the entails a lot of stakeholder engagement and results-based management, like I said, is the attachment of input or resource to every to a verifiable output, outcome, and income and the main impact. So in voter education, we need to make sure we partner. We do first stakeholder in the model. You do stakeholder analysis. You know your stakeholders. They'll be the political parties, the voter, and other stakeholders. That is for stakeholder analysis. And then you also for each stakeholder, what what cap, what hat are they wearing? Is it are they beneficiaries? Are they stakeholders, just stakeholders? Are they financiers through taxes? And also, you develop a KPIs, KPIs for for every stakeholder. What they need you to what they need to see to make sure what education has reached the local mwananchi. So there's a lot of data that is in IBC, lying in IBC that I can draw a lot of insights from, like the voter voter register. I can be able to analyze and make sure and see what category of people is lacking behind in voter registering as voters. So we are able to put more of the finances in voter education in that particular group. So this will be it will be a model that it will be interactive, comprehensive, and progressive in that for every indicator we have data that supports this and is effective implementation, so that that particular stakeholder or that particular stakeholder can see that we were at this baseline, and now we have been educated, and what has happened is that this group of people have now more of them have registered as voters. We were at 20%, we are now at 30%. So and on technology, maybe I can just touch on technology. In technology, SPA results-based management. Technology is very expensive, and if we don't make sure that every technology, because we should analyze what type of technology will come and help us do what. And if it is a technology for the BVR keys for registration of voters, if it is the KIMS kit used during the election, we want to know the use of this technology, and what we can use as our funds to make sure that we only we only procure technology that is helping us to solve a certain IT issue, also facilitate us to produce credibly and fair elections in a fair manner. And
I think that's okay. I think the two examples you've given are sufficient.
thank you.
So I wish you well and thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Masibu.
Thank you. I want to invite Evans Misati to ask you some questions. Evans, please.
Thanks so much, Chair. Sadiki,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you a very simple question.
Yes, thank you.
From statistics in the 2022 general elections, we had total registered voters around 14,200,000.
Total?
The total registered votes,
Mm-hmm.
14 million.
Just 22 million.
Yes.
Not
Now,
14.
the ones who turned out to vote, around 14 million.
14, yes, yes.
Now, there are those who did not turn to vote, but they were not registered. When you had such a number, it becomes almost 16, 17 million. Now, in our democracy, how will you rate that? The number of people who turned out to vote vis-a-vis the number of people who are total who are reachable to vote in Kenya.
Thank you. The number of registered voters were 22 million. The number who turned out was 14 million.
Yes.
But
and there are those who did not vote because they were not registered. So when you totalize that,
that's like 7 million or
Yes.
6 million.
yes.
We we talk about the equality to vote and also the universal suffrage. When you have a bigger number of people who did not turn out as voters, you must know why they did not turn out to to exercise the democratic right. And having a lot of people not turning out begs a question that maybe because the issue is the trust in IBC and the confidence, and also the things that happen in the polling day, violence. People are afraid maybe they might be harmed. People I think that the election results have already been declared somewhere. So one of the things
That's good. That's a good. That's good. Now, if you are given an opportunity and you are an IPC commissioner, because this assumption that information in public, are you able to do anything to ensure that the information that Kenyans have out there is authentic in regards to that aspect of voting? Because why would somebody say he's not coming out to vote because he thinks elections have been declared somewhere? Because today, as a panel, we are conducting interviews today.
yes.
But on social media yesterday, it was already showing that we had already completed the interviews and we have sent the names. So as a commissioner, what will you do to ensure that such information going out to the public in a negative way is averted?
Yeah, I thank you. One of the things, Chair, that is very important is you see and this is why I ask myself so many questions during election mood, the electioneering period. We have a lot of polls, and giving us some percentage that maybe 44%, excuse me, of voters. I think that IBC will be credible in this election. Excuse me. So I think there's a need to make sure that we give information to the public. And one of the things that like I mentioned, I was talking to Wakili here, is self evaluation. If you have data in your disposal that you are doing well, or that the percentage of how the percent of people are getting outside, and then the IBC offices is different from what you have. For example, what I said that I'll be able to make sure we self-evaluate ourselves through a feedback system. We will make sure that we give the information to the public contrary to what is maybe given by the media and the social medias. That is contrary to the image of the commission. And I'll make sure that we give this information constantly, because these people need to get the right information before they give out the wrong information. And it is very key that before you because one of the things that in the election day is fake news. You can be told that a candidate has declared that they're not running again, and this is your candidate. You want to go to for election. People come to election day only to vote for one person, maybe NP, but because they have 6 ballots, they have to vote anyway on the other ballots. So so if any intimidation and false news they get in the very morning, they might as well not turn out to vote. So there are a lot of things that cause apathy to voters. So fake information, intimidation, violence, mistrust to IBC, and so many.
Thanks so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I want to ask Ms. Fatuma Saman to ask you some questions. Fatuma, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. Sadiq, please tell the panel
No.
why stakeholder mapping is so essential in managing elections. Why is stakeholder mapping very important in managing elections?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Stakeholder mapping is very important in the election, the civic education and voter education. In that you will know when you do stakeholder the mapping, you will know which stakeholder needs what kind of information, and what also secondly you will know which stakeholder can be found using what the mechanisms. If it is the social media, if for youth you can use social media, for people who are women and disability you can use other mechanisms. So social stakeholder mapping is very important, because you will know if the CSOs, how how well can you engage them, the 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 systems and the mechanisms that you're going to engage them. If it is PWD, they have their own ways of being engaged. That is be effective. And also if it is if they are women and other special groups like the youth, you can engage them through the social media. So having stakeholder the mapping is essential, like data collection. It's a data collection tool that will make you know that a certain stakeholder, I am maybe, for example, the kind of information that you are going to give to our youth who has a lot of information from the social media is not the information that you can give to women, because every uh, every different kind of stakeholder has some deficit information. So you will know by how much can I make sure that I engage political parties. By how much can I make sure that I engage women? By how much can I make sure that I engage the youth? And it is also important, but that you'll be able to know to how how much resources you want to put into this exercise, because every stakeholder engagement, it is very costly. And some of the things that you'll realize when you do stakeholder mapping is that you can use some low hanging fruits that can never maybe can never be as cost as it could have been if I had not done the mapping. So a station like social media, perhaps like the youth in this country don't want to they want to be told these days. They don't they want to be heard. So where do we meet them? We meet them in the social media spaces. And like I said, I gave an example of the performance contracting that I'll propose the targets that the CCs will be signing. Is that they will have to do partnerships with the social media influencers to get the youth. So you'll do this all the strategies and targets. You'll make them after you've done the stakeholder mapping, so that you know how much you can budget, and by how much the deficit is needed of information to this stakeholder as opposed to this other stakeholder. So thank you. I think I've answered your question.
Yes, you have.
Sorry,
Thank you so much.
I stammer a lot, so
It's okay. I've gotten everything you said.
thank you.
Thank you very much, and I wish you well. Back to you, Chair.
Assalam, shukran.
Thank you. I want to ask Nicodemus Bode to also ask you some questions. Nicodemus, please.
Thank you, Bakari from, I saw you went to a school in Kilifi. It's called Sokote.
Yes, Sagoka Secondary School. It was
And it's a very, it's a low school in Kilifi.
it was even lower when I attended
And
than
you
now.
scored a B.
Yes, and with the mathematics, A in mathematics. And I scored also an A in mathematics in primary school.
Yes.
I'm very proud to mention that, because it is the background and the fundamental the foundation of my statistics and M&E career as today we speak.
So that is, I want to congratulate you for that. Coming
Thank
from
you.
that very low school and scoring a B.
Thank you.
I'm sure you had been given a chance, and if your parent had enough resources to go to a provincial school that you had been invited, maybe you'll have scored better.
Can you imagine I was the first one?
In Sokote Primary, in Sokote Secondary School?
Yeah.
Or in Kilifi?
That time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, you also informed the panel that you worked with the judicial
Judges and Magistrate Vetting Board.
And judges
and Magistrate
and
Vetting Board.
Magistrate Vetting Board.
Yes, sir.
Where you worked in vetting the judges, in assisting as a research assistant.
Yes.
And among the roles that you went through is to look at what the judges have in terms of resources and how they acquired it.
Yes, that is we call it a lifestyle audit.
Lifestyle audit.
Yes.
Now, what are the legal and ethical requirements for public officers such as Iebc commissioners regarding financial disclosures and conflicts of interests?
Thank you. I hold so dearly to close to heart the mandate that we accomplished at the board. It was a very unique mandate. Never has it been done that time that people had judicial officers had been vetted to find their stability or otherwise to continue serving or be dropped from the system. So one of the things that a public officer, one of the that's there's a public officer ethics act 203 that you should make sure you declare your wealth. When I go to Iebc, I think the first thing is that I will declare my wealth, so that I know subsequently the years that I have accrued, it will be known that Sadiq came with 2 million and he now has 20 million from the salary. So that's one of the things. Then as far as a conflict of interest, when you are required by the PFM Act that you disclose your conflict of interest, and also in the public procurement disposal act, you must declare your conflict of interest when you are when you are handling some business that you are interested party, or you know the person who maybe is the ones that the business, maybe it is tender or something else. So there are laws that are governing public officers to the constitution, ethics, that integrity. There's also chapter 10 of chapter Article 10 and 232 of the Constitution, which also hold very dearly, because in the county currently I'm the one who does compliance analysis for declaration of wealth and liabilities, and report to the county assembly biannual. We do survey, make sure we report to the assembly by how much the public service in the country has complied with these regulations. So it is a very important thing that I held to my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best, boss.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I invite Professor Adams to ask you some questions, Prof.
Thank you, Chair. Bwana Sadiki,
Professor.
looking at the IBC's constitutional role, how should a commissioner, that is, if Sadiki was to be a commissioner, contribute to long-term national cohesion beyond elections? In other words, in Kenya, we see election ends and a new polarization starts. Does the commission have any role in ensuring?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So in making to contribute to long-term national cohesion, most importantly is the safe integration in and cohesion in the commission. You see, we if I got the nod of this panel, I will be the commissioners come from different backgrounds, and everyone is an expert in their own way. I will be an expert from M&D and RBM. The chair of obviously will be a legal person, expert. Then another one, finance and stuff like that. So we have our background that if we continue, make sure that we integrate well, because they make sure that you don't. They say you don't wash your linen in the public. If there are any disagreements, you solve them in house, so that you make the public know that you are still a team, and you can manage the elections or subsequent elections that are coming next. Secondly, is making sure that you hold the stakeholder engagements with all the different stakeholders, especially the political parties. It's very necessary for them to be in sync with the functions and the mandate of the commission, and they should know that the commission is there to facilitate their causing success, because we are not there to just get legislators and leaders elected, but we also there to preserve integrity and cohesion in this country. And also one of the things also is through legal regulations. You can, if there's need be, you can propose some amendment to maybe the act or to some regulation that some things need to be strengthened, so that cohesion can still prevail in this country. And maybe one other thing, Prof, is to realize that by the end of the day, what is important is is the life of everyone in this country, and you are a facilitator of coexistence, good governance, and integrity and trust, and people should have always confident in what you do.
Thank you. My last question on this segment.
Yes.
Imagine again that you are a commissioner and you are tasked with leading national stakeholder forums in the post-election period. How would you ensure that marginalized voices shape the next electoral cycle? That marginalized voice could be the youth, it could be the women, it could be the disabled, it could be people in far-flung areas where communication and infrastructure is not there. How would you?
Thank you, Prof. Uh, during this stakeholder, you said national forum. First of the things that you make sure is that those who the participants of that national forum are many of them are the youth, or you have a good number of representatives from the youth, special groups, women, and the disability. And that is one. You make sure people come for that, and you mobilize in the ground that people should come and should be present during that forum. Secondly, you you make sure that because there are some groups which find it very hard to get on board, like the PWDs. PWDs has been a very and talking from a background of information, like now in the I'll give an example, Prof. Currently, we only have 1% of employees in the county living PWD, and I've managed to convince the board that the next subsequent recruitment I will head hunt PWDs during the recruitment. Going to the council, asking them if you have people who are in this background, who want employees from this background. So you must make sure that you headhunt, and you make sure you do a mobilization of all those groups. Then as a commissioner, you must make sure that you lay out strategies in the commission and the policies that resonates to these special groups, and also most importantly, during party nominations, you make sure that these groups are represented, and they can get their chance to be voted, and also to give their views in this country.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Prof. Ask your last two questions, please.
Sadiq Muhammad Bakari. Monitoring and evaluation is one of your fortes.
Yeah, I try as much as possible.
So normally, the ideal situation is you have monitoring and evaluation being treated as a concept, as one concept. But of course, there are distinguishing elements. So can you just tell us in brief, what's the difference between monitoring and evaluation? What does monitoring entail? What does evaluation entail?
Thank you, Prof. The misconception is there, and I think before I answer, the worst misconception is that it is being held as audit. M&A officers always are being taken as auditors and victimizers. But we are support. We support the functions of public service delivery. So the monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring proof is a consistent collection of data to guide you to know that you are on track in implementing and in getting what you had targeted earlier. And then evaluation now is not continuous. It may be midterm, same annual or something like that, so that you evaluate yourself. You look back, what can I learn? Can I replicate my lessons, the good lessons that I've learned, or can I drop some of the things that I've done that have not been effective?
Thank you. My last question. Name 2 African countries that are islands or made up of islands.
I think Madagascar is Seychelles, I think.
Are you done?
Madagascar.
Are you withdrawing Seychelles?
No, I think the 2.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Bwana Bakari. Tunashukuru wakati ambao tumekuwa nao. Sijui kama uko na swali ama jambo lolote la kusema.
Thank you, Chair. One is to just to appreciate. I don't take it for granted for to be among the people who have come before you to seek this opportunity. You said I saw in the media that we were over 1,300 applicants, and you saw it fit that someone from Kilifi can come and they also present themselves. Secondly, I want to urge the public and my fellow Kenyans that trusting in a process is a very difficult thing, but it's also another thing to speak that you don't trust something. You know, you can have your views and you stay with them. As you get enough data to make sure you have the facts. And also, it's also one thing to echo when you don't have the facts. So we trust that this process is fair, and it will give IEBC a new face. And most importantly, my contribution will be making sure through RBM that IEBC can be trusted again with using constant, inclusive, responsive, and progressive engagement constantly on the ground, so that people see a new face, people see a new brand of IEBC, people can resonate themselves with the IEBC and their functions, and also confident that whatever IEBC does with their taxes is to the best interest of them. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Blessings to you. You find your certificates with the gentleman at the door. Feel free to pick the notebook and the pen. They are yours. Asante.
Thank you very much. Mchana mwema.
Safari njema. Asante.
Asante.
You want a break or next? Break, thank you. Okay. So we do break. And we'll be back at 11:10. Thank you. The trouble on Monday morning to check out on Monday.
Alaska.